Welcome to Let's Automate It with Robin, and today we're going to be looking at a simple automation using AI. It is one of the hardest working automations that I have in my personal world. It saves me a mountain of time. I think it'll do the same for you. And that is a tool that helps me manage and answer my email. There's lots of these around out here, but this particular flow we're seeing on the screen here is basic. It's super powerful. It's also going to form the foundation for future workflows where we're going to build onto this and start looking at RAG agents, AI agents, RAG, retrieval-augmentation generation. And we'll be looking at those in different videos, and we'll probably be using this one to be the foundation for it. But this flow right here on my N8N canvas is super powerful. We're going to go through it right now, build it together step by step, and I'm going to show you how it can make a huge difference. This is something that's really powerful. It can actually possibly be sold to customers. It's going to be super useful in your world as well. So what is it? It is, you could use Outlook as here. The trigger here in this particular case you can see is Gmail. Let me zoom in a little bit here so we can see it a bit better. So we're looking at Gmail, but if we go over here and we type into our Outlook, if we type into our N8N, we can see we've got a Microsoft Outlook option as well, where we can, I believe I'm not an Outlook user, but we can get messages. And here's a trigger. We can trigger on message received. So if you're an Outlook user, this can work for you as well. You're just going to have to configure your credentials. But we're going to kick this off with Gmail. We're going to see if we're getting any new Gmail in. We're going to check if that Gmail is something we want to reply to by looking at it to see if it comes into the promotions folder, or if maybe it has the word no reply in the address. So that's going to kind of do the heavy lifting and chunk that down to a smaller group of emails. Then we'll pass those emails into the AI over here, which will double check if it actually needs a reply or if this is just some kind of update email. Once we've done that, and we'll check if the AI has agreed that it needs a reply. If it does, we'll use this AI agent over here to craft that reply. We'll convert that reply into some HTML and push it back into Gmail, where we can review the draft and decide whether to send it off or not. Let's dive in. That's what it's all about. It's going to take a couple of minutes. Build with me here. Let's get started. So go and grab yourself a Gmail trigger. Looks like this. Gmail. Scroll down. Triggers. There it is. Go and grab that one. Once you've got that, this is the node. So you're going to need a credential, first of all. So if we click into credentials here, I've got my credentials set up, and you've got docs, but you've actually got the instructions right here down the side. It's not straightforward in that there's quite a lot of clicking around to do and quite a few steps you've got to go through with Google inside the Google Cloud Console, but it's not hard if you follow these steps. Go and get your credentials, come back and pop them back in here, and you'll be good to go. So we've got that. Now we want to poll. We're going to check for a new email every minute, so you can check whatever you want here. And it's only going to pull back mail that it finds in that minute. So if there's mail that's, if you run this for the first time, it's not going to pull your whole inbox in. It's only going to pull the mail in the last minute. Okay. The event is message received. That's all we've got here. Actually, I haven't played with the simplify. I'm not sure what it does. I'm going to leave it off for now. But let's see here, whether to return a simplified version of the response instead of the raw data. You can probably toggle this on, play with it. I'm going to leave it here. Now, this is actually connecting up to one of my inboxes. So I've got some personal stuff in there. So just for the sake of this demo, I've created a label inside of my Gmail. If you're familiar with Gmail, you know what labels are. They're kind of like little folders to catch. And I've just got a file in there called UT demo. And I've actually got an email in there waiting for us to check out. So let me actually show you that. So if I go over to my Gmail, I've sent myself a mail. So my mail is from myself, and it's in this little label called UT demo, and here's the mail. I've sent it from my agency, humanoid.biz, and I've sent it to myself at my save time at Let's Automate It. And there's the mail. Thanks for your meeting with me yesterday. As a follow-on, can you explain more about what N8N is and what automation is? So this is an email that obviously needs a reply. I need to get back to this person being me in this example, and that's exactly what this flow is going to do for us. So let's fetch a test event. Now, if all is working well, it should pull in that mail we've just looked at. And let's just double check. It was sent to that address. That's correct. And if we come down and we try and find the body of the mail, where can I see the body? There we go. Thanks for the meeting yesterday. All right, let's grab the mail we've just been looking at, and it's limited just to this. If you turn this off, here you can. Here's all my different folders in here. You can turn this filter off. You don't have to have it here, but this is just so I can get one sample mail in. Okay, so we've got that at the moment. Let me actually go ahead and pin that data. Okay. Now we're looking at this if node. Again, I think you guys, if you've been following our channel, you know what an if node is. There it is. You can grab that. And an if node is simply just checking a condition. It can check multiple conditions, which is what I'm doing here. So I'm looking at JSON label IDs. So on the incoming side, I'm looking at my table. I guess we could look at schema as well. Just in this one, the table seems to make a little bit more sense. So if this contains the label, and I think we were looking at an array. Yeah, this is coming in as an array. So if the array contains category promotions, if you know about Google automatically fires your mails into inbox, promotions, and I think there's an updates tab as well, or a socials tab, I think. So if it's got the promotions category, it's a pretty good chance I don't need to reply to it. Or if the JSON label contains updates, a lot of Gmail will automatically, if there's an update coming in, for example, we run a great community. You should definitely check out the Let's Automated community. We run a community, and I'll get a lot of update emails about activity in the community. I don't need to be replying to those, so I'm just going to check. If it's got that, I'm not even going to move it forward. And sometimes you'll get an email address, someone will mail you, and it even has the words no reply in the mail address. So this one, if you look here, is actually looking at the address. So these two are looking at label IDs. That's this here. I just drag that into that box right there. But the other thing I want to look at is email address. So we are looking at the from email address. So there it is. So, the from address is my agency email address. And if this had no reply in it, for example here, this step would come through as true. It does have some of these, and therefore we wouldn't go ahead. So let's show you what I'm talking about. So as you can see, I've got all criteria. All this can be true. It doesn't have to be and. Be careful not to make it and. Then they both need to be true. Any one of these will trigger this. So let's test this step. And I've got one, nothing's false, nothing's true. So none of these conditions are true. So this is a mail I want to respond to. I want to fine tune that, but there's the result. I hope that's making sense. So there we have a false, where we have as you can see there, we've got an item coming through into this AI node. Okay, let's click into this AI node. This AI node, the prompt is just the subject line. I've written the word subject in here and written the word message. And I'm actually just going and literally grabbing from here the subject. So I've grabbed that in. Okay. And then the message, which is, I believe, text as HTML. Yep. And this one, I've just dragged that in. So if we actually open this up now, we'll see there is our expressions, and this is the result it's giving us. Thanks for meeting with me yesterday, and here's the message in HTML format. Okay, so that's passing the email in, and then we're using a system prompt here, and it's quite a simple system prompt. Your task is to assess if the message requires a response. That's the critical step. Return in JSON format, true if it does, false otherwise. Marketing emails don't require a response. So that's what we're doing right here. But I've added in a tool. I need to add it in the model. So which large language model do you want to use? By the way, you could change this. I've chosen OpenAI, but you could absolutely go and grab a different model here if you wanted to use a different model. In fact, let me double check if, So for example, I could delete this one out. Just get rid of that. And now I can bring in any other model that I have credentials for. For example, I have credentials for Anthropic, and we could use that tool here, and you'd have the Anthropic LLM using here. But I'm gonna stick with the one that I had before, which is OpenAI. It's up to you what you think is the one that you like using. So let's just go and configure that again. I'm using credential. I'm using the GPT-4 mini model. I find it powerful enough. It's very cheap to use. Here you can have a look at your temperature. That's the creativity of this, how creative it's going to be. I've actually been testing this using 0.0, happy with the response, but let's be bold for this live test here. I'm going to go 0.5. So 0.0 is no creativity. It's not being overly excited about things. And 0.9 or 1 would be, you're not quite sure what it's going to get. You might get some really creative response coming out of it. So that's what it's all about. You can put in your max number of penalties in here as well. And I'm not going to dive into those other features. That's the main thing you're after. And then the other tool I'm using here is an output parser. I've asked, if we go back in here and we look at our system message, I've asked it to return in JSON format. So that means I need to use a JSON parser. I just click that little, let me escape from here and show that again. This wouldn't have this parser on for you. This would just have this little line with this plus. Click on that and you're going to choose this structured output JSON parser. Simple as that. And then you're going to have a look at the JSON. So here's some JSON. In fact, you could have simpler JSON in this. This is pretty simple, but I want to bring back an object it's a Boolean response. So go and grab that right. You can just pause the video and copy this out, or go and grab this from the community. Let me just take a moment. First of all, I do want to give a shout out to the N8N template community. This flow actually comes from the N8N community in their templates. There's hundreds of templates out there you can go and grab from N8N. This base is there. I forget who this is. I'm sorry I'm not giving you credit. If you're watching this, thank you so much for this. I've enhanced the flow a little bit. I've made it my own, but you can go grab it there if you want to. And some of the prompts, some of the JSON I got from that template. So not my work. Thank you to the N8N community for supplying that. But I also want to talk about the Let's Automated community. So we have a community called Let's Automated. This full workflow that you see on the screen right now, the full JSON, you'll be able to grab the JSON file of this flow, copy it, paste it into your blank N8N, and exactly what you see here, minus my personal credentials, will appear on your draft, on your canvas, ready to go. You don't need to fiddle with anything. So that's available in the N8N community. Sorry, in the Let's Automated community, this version of this workflow. And here's what the community looks like. We're growing here. We're up to 85 members. It's growing nicely. It's brand new. Come and join us as a founder member. Get involved. Once we get to 100 members, the price will go up slightly. Right now, it's $10 to get involved. And it's quite active. We've got all kinds of things going on here. We have Automate Mondays. Every Monday at 3 o'clock GMT, we jump online. We chat. We fix workflows. We get creative. We talk about AI. We talk about automation. We talk about AI and automation agencies. We share with you what we're doing to grow our agency. Just come and hang out with us. See what's going on. We've got, tips and tricks and wins and, all kinds of good things. We even have a learning section. You can jump in here and learn how to do N8N, how to automate, how to start playing with AI and automation. We've got basics courses. We've got all our automations listed here where you can get the resources, the prompts, the assistance, everything you would want right there. We've got prompts, full prompt library. This is extensive to really become an advanced prompter. And we've also got AI marketing training guides, how to use AI and automation and marketing and to market your business. So come join us. Details in the description below. $10 a month until we get 100 members, and you'll be locked in for life at that price point. If you're watching this after we've gone past founder members, it's still going to be really cheap and affordable, and we're really engaged building a great community there. Please come and join us. Enough about that. So let's run this little AI tool here now. This is, just to remind you, we've checked if we want to reply to this mail, and the answer is yes. But now we want to be sure. Maybe there's some subtlety in the mail that we're not entirely sure whether we should be replying to it or not. So I'm running that one, and we picked up an issue here. Model doesn't fit the output requirements. So we had that little error there. You picked up that error there. I figured it out. What I often find, here's a little tip, and I'm sure people who are more familiar with coding and understanding of these large language models than I am might be able to add some logic to this. Please, in the community or in the comments, let me know. But I've just added to this. What I added in here, this was my original prompt, if you recall. And then I just put in here, right here in the system prompt, please return in this format. And that's the exact same JSON format that I have sitting here in this JSON parser. Now, I don't believe it should be necessary to go and place this JSON schema into the system prompt or even the input prompt. But when I do have an issue where there's a mismatch between the output from the LLM and it doesn't fit into the structured output, often find just putting it, just adding in this little line, they're just copying and pasting sorts it out. So that has sorted it out in this case. And as you can see, I've got a reply, I've got an output of true. So the AI is agreeing that we need a reply to this mail. So that's this top row. We've got the mail. We've checked if we need a reply. We do need to reply. Fantastic. Let's move to on the bottom here where we actually generate a reply that makes sense. Okay, so we need an if node here to start with. Why? Because the output of this AI node up here could be false. It could be don't reply. And if it does, we need to check what is the response here. So I've got this little if node and I'm going, let me look at the reply, just dragging in that directly into that little spot there. And I'm going, is this true? Okay. And I'm seeing it as Boolean, and that's the option here. It's Boolean. It's yes or no. It's either one or the other. So Boolean is true. And that's the little answer here. And if it is true, I'm going to test setup. And we've got something going down the true branch. Fantastic. This is true. It does need to reply. And now we're passing it over to this AI agent here. Okay, let's have a look at this AI agent. Let's jump in. By the way, if you're new with AI agents, we have a great little video on using WhatsApp, getting started with WhatsApp, and included in that little WhatsApp video is building a fantastic, simple little AI agent flow that's going to help you get familiar with these AI agent nodes with inside of N8N, but pretty straightforward. You can follow along here. So the agent is a tool agent. We've got some options, but it's a tools agent. The source for the prompt message can either be from a chat trigger node, which if you've just dragged this in off the tray, let me show you. If I go and drag an AI agent off here, let's just click away from that. Oh, that didn't actually do the trick. But what will often happen here, it's not showing, but there'll be a little chat icon here that'll connect to this, and it'll be expecting you to have a chat. You just delete that little section out and connect it to the if node. So we'll get rid of that. But if you've got the little chat icon that comes in, just can it, get rid of it, and connect it up to the if node. So we go back into here to tool agent. The text that's coming in here is the subject. I've written in the subject and message, as before. You saw me do that in the previous node. And as we can see, if I open up the little expansion, I'm getting the result, subject, and the email. Okay. And then here I've got a system message. Now, this message, this is going to be available in the community, so you can go and grab this if you want it. But you can tailor this to suit yourself. But here it is. You're a helpful assistant to an AI and automation marketing agency. All right. But maybe you're not. Maybe you're an accountant. Maybe you're a lawyer. Maybe you're a plumber. Maybe you're a roofer, involved in HVAC. Whatever it is, tailor to suit who you are. Whenever I provide some text from an email, return an appropriate draft reply and nothing else. Ensure the reply is professional and clear and structured. I've got some detailed instructions here. These instructions are, start with hi first name, show some bias towards N8N, etc., etc. So tailor this to suit yourself. But really what's critical here is examples. You always want to give examples. I found that you can have the best prompt in the world, but if you don't have an example, you don't always get the best results. You can have a fairly crappy prompt, but if you give good examples, you can get really good, consistent results. So give the example. So here's an example of an incoming mail, okay? And here's an example of a possible output. And give more than one if you can. I've just given one in this case, okay? But try and give more than one if you can, if you have examples. And then here I have, please format your reply using well-formatted HTML and using paragraph tags. Now, I'm having limited success with doing that. I'm actually now using another node, a Markdown node, to check that. But I've thrown this in here to try and get it to give me decent HTML. I'm not getting the result I want. But I am asking it to return the reply in JSON, okay? And the moment you see that, you know what's coming. You know we're going to have to require the output in a specific format. We toggle that on and we've added an output parser to that. Let me show you what I mean. Here's that output parser. We've already had one. We've put it in here and you'll see that the response I'm after is exactly the same super simple JSON format as what I have stuck into this system message. Okay, so play with this, get it to tweet this out, pause the video, kind of read through this, copy it. Let me just scroll back up to here. You can pause the video there, get the rest, and there's the rest again. Otherwise, make it your own. Otherwise, go and grab it directly from our community and let's automate it. Okay, now that's been done. Now I need to add a chat model. I've added OpenAI. And again, I'm just using the mini one for this demo. You may want to use, one of the more later ones if you're looking for something more sophisticated. Let's again, let me play with the sampling temperature. Look, here we go, 0.7. Let's be bold. Let's see what comes out of that. We're going to ask this guy to be a little bit more creative. We'll see what reply we get. Okay, so I'm gonna play this agent. So it's executing. It's now reading the mail, the subject line, and it's generating a response based on its experience of what I'm after. Now, in future, we're going to want to add some tools in here where we can actually refer to a knowledge base. We're going to want to program a knowledge base with the type of information we would like the AI to consider when drafting a reply. Now, to keep this simple, I haven't done that here. We will do that in other videos as we start adding AI agents and RAG agents and things like that. But this is for non-techies. This OpenAI chat model has been trained on so much data that it knows what it's talking about. What's missing here, though, is fine-tuning this to suit your business, your style, your personality. We'll get into that at later videos. This is enough already for us to get started, and it's giving us a result. Let's have a look at that result. Hi, Robin. Thank you for your message and the gazing discussion we had about. Okay, so it's giving me a response. We'll evaluate the response in a better format. But there it is. It's passed it over. Okay, so we've created the mail, but now Gmail is an online email tool. It's basically a website, so it likes to use HTML. So you need a convert Markdown to HTML node. Markdown to HTML, grab that node in here, and now we're going to grab this reply. Boom, that's what I've dragged in here. And the mode here is to convert from Markdown to HTML. And the destination key, you can be anything you want. Leave it at data. That'll be what'll come kind of pre-configured with that. You can change it. There's some properties here that I'm not going to get into that. But this is basically going to convert this reply into some decent HTML. Let's see if it does. Okay, and you can see it. We've got p tags and such like. Okay, so we have it in HTML. And now let's have a look at this Gmail node. So what is this Gmail node? This is a action node. So I'm going to Gmail. And we are creating a message. What are we doing here? Get a message, send a message. Create a draft. That's what we're doing here. We're creating a draft. So drag that one onto the canvas, and you're going to have this node right here. Let's go through its configuration. So connected to a credential, we've spoken about that. The resource is going to be a draft. Okay. Operation is that basically that's going to push it into the draft folder of your Gmail so you can review it before it gets sent out. Okay, the subject line, literally we are replying to an email. So I've just literally written re in here, and I've gone and grabbed the actual, let's look at schema here, and we'll close these down, and let's just scroll these down, and we've got our Gmail trigger, and I've actually just pulled in here the subject. So we scroll down, we will find somewhere in here, we'll find the subject. Where is this hiding? There it is, subject line. So I've just dragged that into here. So the subject will be there you can see it, subject. Thanks for meeting with me yesterday. Okay, so open that up. That's what it's going to say. Okay. So that's pulling in there, and here now is, okay, before I open up the body of the mail, let's look at some options here. Okay, so who do you want it to be from? Okay, and what I'm doing here is I actually, in my Gmail account, I capture multiple, I use it as an inbox for multiple email addresses. So I want to reply to the same email address. I want to reply from the same email address that this was sent to. So I have my standard Gmail address, but you can see this is not a Gmail address, but I'm still using Gmail to handle it. So what I've done here is just actually gone in and looked at the if promotional tab, and I've just looked at the accounts that this is being sent to. We scroll through here. There it is. That's the address I want to. It was sent to this address, so I want to use that account to reply to. Now, if your Gmail or Outlook has only one email address in it, it has no option to use another email address. You can leave this out. You don't need to worry about this. You can delete it and leave it there. We do need the thread ID, okay? So it can put the reply into the same thread. So in other words, when you go back into your Gmail and you look it up, you'll see this linked together. So you're looking for thread ID in the Gmail trigger. There it is there, right up the front. Just drag that one in. Okay, and who are you sending it to? Well, we're going to send it back to the person who sent us mail. So I think if I go to the bottom here in the Gmail trigger, that's who sent me the mail, robin@humanoid.biz. So I just drag that in and the reply will go back to that. So that's just configuring, what account in your Gmail are you using to send the mail, and what email thread should this be filed into, and what email address am I sending it to. So pretty straightforward. Okay, email type is HTML. You can use text, but HTML gives us better formatting. Let's have a look what's going inside here. So I'm just going to open this up, okay? And I'm pulling in JSON data, pulling in this right here, dragging it in there, because that is my HTML formatted response, okay? What you're seeing here is my signature, okay? What you're seeing there is my signature. I've just gone to an HTML generator and I've generated a signature. You don't have to do this, but this is going to give me a nice HTML formatted signature. I'll show you what it looks like in a moment, but I could literally just write regards Robin, and that would work. But we want to push out a little bit here, so we're not going to get into formatting and writing HTML. But this is I'm not an HTML formatter. I have literally just gone to an HTML generator. I typed in email signature, generate email signature, and just got the text from that. So that's what all this fancy stuff looks like. It really is nothing to get too excited about. But then what I've done at the bottom here is I want to, you can picture now, this is creating a mail, and picture the scenario now. Just picture this in your head for me. It's the end of your day. You're going to go to your drafts folder and look at all the mail that's sitting in the drafts folder for you to approve and send if this AI has done its job. But for you to know if this is an appropriate response that's come in here, you need to be able to see the original email. And I don't want to be clicking into my inbox to find that. So what we're doing here is actually pulling the original email into this mail so we can see it straight away. So who is it from? I've written the word from in here, and I've just gone and grabbed the from emails. We've already done that. We've just gone and grabbed the data from the promotional mail here, and we just pulled in the right variable to know who's it from, the name of the person. Who's that from? So the name of this person is me, sending mails to myself, so it's from me. So I've dragged that in. And then what is my email address? I've pulled that in as well, and I've pulled in the subject line, and I've pulled in the body. So this is just a copy of the original email that I'm now replying to. Hope that makes sense. It's going to make a lot more sense when we run this now, okay? So we've run that. Now we need to create this draft. We'll jump in here, test step. It's created the mail. There it is. Let's go have a look at the results. Okay, I'm going to jump into my drafts folder. So just refresh that. There it is. I have, 1946. It is 7:45 on a Sunday evening as I record this. Let's have a look at here. I'm going to open up this mail and let's have a look at it. Let's make this a little bit bigger if I can. So there it is. It is being sent from my save time and let's automated.biz email address. There's the subject line. I want to do some tweaking here. It's got this word subject coming in here. I'm not sure why, but this would be a case where now I can edit that. I think I'd want to edit that in the workflow, so I don't have to do it every single time. But this is the point being now is I can quickly review this mail. It's a lot easier to edit a mail than it is to write it from scratch. And here it is. Hi, Robin. Thanks for your message. And thanks for the engaging discussion we had yesterday. Now remember, it's replying to this mail. There's the mail at the bottom. Hi, Robin. Thanks for meeting with me yesterday. As a follow-on, can you explain more about what N8 is and what automation is? So that's the email it's replying to, and boom, here we have it. It is replying. Here's a brief overview, etc., etc. And here's my signature. Now I've got a bit more space in here. Let's just see if I can't open this up a little bit. Anyway, there it is. There, join our community, etc., etc. So all that HTML you saw in that Google Note was literally just generating this. You don't have to go to that length. I just have. And fantastic. I'm happy with this mail. It makes sense. I can just hit the send button. So the power of this automation is that every single minute, it is going to check your mail, check a particular folder if you'd like it to, but check your inbox. It's going to check if it must reply. It's going to fine-tune the check if it really must reply by having a closer look at each email. We could have the AI look at every single mail for sure, but you're going to be burning tokens. It's going to cost a bit of money. So this if node just kind of does the coarse filtering, and this AI node does the more fine-tuning filtering. Then we check if the AI agrees that we need a reply. If it does, we're using this AI tool agent here to reply. In future videos, we'll add some AI agents here so we can do some more insightful customized replies, but for now this is good enough. You've seen it. We've got a great result, and convert it to HTML, send it over to Gmail, ready for you to review, ready for you to send. I use this one fantastically. It saves me hours a day for a couple of reasons. One, mail comes in, you go and read it, you check it, it breaks your flow, you're working on something, now you've been distracted by your email. Now I can actually turn my email off. I don't worry about it. I don't look at it through the day. At the end of the day, I'm not sitting and reading 30 emails and writing 30 replies. Basically, I'm looking at the 10 emails that need to be replied to. There's already a reply waiting for me. I just review and go, saving me a huge amount of time. This is one of my favorites. I hope you enjoy it. And as always, like, subscribe, all that generic YouTube nonsense, hit the bell, whatever it is you're supposed to do, and join us in the community, join us on the channel, let us know in the comments how we're doing, and appreciate your time and spending this last couple of minutes with me. I know your time is precious, and I appreciate that you spent it with me. Until next time, catch you then.